me that immediately I got the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, I would want to sell my other phones because of how good it is, I think I would not have believed you, but here we are. Today I'm going to unbox the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, give you some tips and tricks in my setup guide, and tell you what is my first impressions of this device. Hi, I'm Captain Awesome, this is Geekception. I would really appreciate if you hit that like button and subscribe as it really helps me here. We also have memberships in case you want to stick around and support. First, let's start with the unboxing. On the front of the box is Xiaomi 14 Ultra co-engineered with Leica. Getting into the box and I see another black box, and opening that box I first see the SIM removal tool, safety information and warranty card, and lastly a hard case that is transparent and has a matte feeling to it, which I like. Finally, getting to the good part and I see the phone itself with the specs on there, but the first thing I notice is just the beautiful white color here of the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. It looks very good with this vegan leather white here, and to be honest, you know, vegan leather is just plastic, but I'm not gonna lie, it feels good to the touch. Putting the phone aside, and what else we have in the box here is the 90-watt charger, and lastly I see a USB Type-C to USB cable. And this cable is special because that is what enables the 90-watt fast charging here on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. For a quick tour around the device, on the front we have the 6.7-inch display there. On the right side we only find the volume and the power button. On the left side there's nothing there, but on the bottom there's a SIM card slot and a USB Type-C port with speakers. Going on to the back, and of course it's unmissable, there's a massive camera bump here with the 4 cameras here on the 14 Ultra that I cannot wait to try. And fun fact, the Leica text here is actually in landscape orientation, so you can read it when you are holding the phone in landscape mode. And that, my friend, is a little Easter egg. I also have the camera grip case here for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, so subscribe so you do not miss that unboxing video and my thoughts about the camera grip. Okay, boom, we've unboxed the device. Now let's set it up with some special tips that I'm going to give you right here. And the first thing I set up is the fingerprint because I prefer that over the face unlock. For the default launcher, I always make sure to choose using an app drawer. And one of the first things I do is change the display resolution to WQHD+, for which, if you do not know, it's the highest quality display here on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I also changed the font size to XXS because I like my font really tiny. The display here is a smooth one, so you always want to make sure you change it to 120 Hz so you can get that nice smooth effect. And a little trick you might not know is you can actually increase the RAM here on the 14 Ultra. So to do that, go into your settings, additional settings, and memory extension. And for me here, I'm going to select 8 gigs RAM, which will force the phone to reboot. But after it has rebooted, you will successfully have increased your RAM here. Now it will be using your device storage, but I think that's okay. Another thing I changed is the system gestures, because why am I going to be using buttons? What is this, 2008? Opening up the camera and I see that there are 2 distinct Leica profiles here, and I think I'm going to go with the vibrant because I just love images that are a lot more vibrant. And obviously if you're going to the camera settings, one of the things I will suggest you change is disabling the auto frame rate under the video settings, because you do not want the frame rate to be changing when you are recording the video. And obviously I'll be doing a whole lot more in-depth video about setting up the Xiaomi 14 Ultra and sort of what is on my Xiaomi 14 Ultra, so make sure you subscribe so you do not miss that video. And when I choose portrait mode, I see that there are 2 profiles. There is the master portrait and Leica portrait, and I'm going to select master portrait right here. One thing I like in the portrait mode here is just how when you select different focal lengths, you actually see all of the sort of different lenses that it has there. I think it's just like a nice touch. Okay, quick setup guide is done. Now let me tell you my first impressions about the Xiaomi 14 Ultra right here. It comes in 2 colors, black and white, and I have the white here, and I must say I am not a white color phone person. I always like my phones very black, but yes, on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra here, it just looks really nice. Like, it looks very elegant, it looks very, I would say, refined. And yes, you know, if I did not like white colored phones before, I'm a believer now. Another thing I noticed immediately I started using the 14 Ultra is the curved display. Now I have this phone right here, which is, you know, as you know, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra right here. And, you know, I like the flat display. It looks very good. It looks very clean. But one of the problems I've always had with curved displays, which is why I like the S24 Ultra so much, is that, you know, they tend to get in the way. You know, every time you are, you know, holding the phone, your hand will mistakenly like sort of start, you know, pressing stuff on the screen, which is not a fun place to be. But what is different here in the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is that I think it's the best of both worlds. So it's not quite as curved as normal curved displays, but it is also not flat. So when you actually use the phone, it makes it very easy to be able to, for example, do the gestures, right? Like, there is very minimal friction there to just be able to like do gestures, to be able to like sort of swipe from the side of the phone right there. And yeah, I did not know just how well it is. And I think there's an Android Police article that actually says that Xiaomi made the curved screen for flat phone fans. And 100% that is me, because the curved display here on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra I think is just the right sort of balance between curve and flat. And if you're like me, especially if you use a phone like the S24 Ultra, another thing is like the sharp edges here can be very uncomfortable to hold, especially when you're using the phone for like a long time. So having those curved edges also just makes the phone, or it has made the phone super duper comfortable for me to use for like long term. Now going on to the elephant on the back, which is the cameras. Let's talk about the cameras here on the 14 Ultra. When I say it is massive, I do not mean just in size, because it is. This is a massive camera right here. I also mean the main sensor as well. It's a 1-inch sensor, and to maybe you are not very technical, basically it's the same sensor that are in all those point and shoot cameras, or at least the premium point and shoot cameras, like all those Sony RX100s or whatever. So you have that on a phone here. So yes, this definitely is a chunky boy right here when it comes to the quad camera system. And I'm not going to lie, immediately I opened the camera right here, like I could immediately see the difference in quality. Like it's not just something that is overhyped. Like I remember when I first bought my Fujifilm camera and I opened it up and it was like, whoa, I can see that this is better. Same thing when I opened the Xiaomi 14 Ultra's camera right here. So first impressions, it definitely had me. I've been taking some photos with it, which I'm sure I'll put like a few on screen right now. And yeah, I've just been blown away by like just the quality you can get from just a phone here. So I definitely look forward to doing an in-depth camera using this camera. Again, I have the camera grip right here as well, and I have the box here, which is the camera photography kit right here. So definitely subscribe so you do not miss that video, because yes, it has been very interesting testing the phone with the camera grip here, especially if you care about just smartphone photography. So yes, when it comes to the cameras here, I would definitely say the first impressions that it had on me was like, I want to sell my other phones so that I can just have this permanently, because this is really good. All right, wrapping up this unboxing and sort of quick setup guide / first impressions video, I would say the Xiaomi 14 Ultra here is priced competitively. Like I remember when I was at the event, I saw the price, which is definitely, I think, almost 1,000 in Malaysian ringgit here, but I think a couple of $100 cheaper than the S24 Ultra. I was like, that cannot be the real price. Like, I don't think that can be the real price. And there's even like a pre-order deal here in Malaysia, where if you pre-order now before the end of the pre-order period, you get not just the phone, you also get like the photography kit right there, which I think this is a great deal. No spoilers, but yes, if you're 100% interested in like taking photos, you should absolutely have that photography kit, which you get included in the price as well. So priced, I would say, is priced competitively. Now, when it comes to, let's say the cameras, when it comes to comparing it to something like the S24 Ultra, when it comes to just using it on its own as a phone, when it comes to, I don't do much gaming, so I don't think I'm going to do a gaming thing. But yes, when it comes to just overall performance, I definitely look forward to bringing you more videos. So please also let me know what are some of the requests you have there. I'm going to be making a sort of what's on my Xiaomi 14 Ultra, and I'll also be making a guide on how to use this photography kit and if it's even worth it at all, because I have like so much thoughts about this. I've actually already finished the script for this video already. So yes, that has been this for this video. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. I really appreciate you watching, and again, don't be shy. Let me know what are some of the requests in the comment down there below. And I've been your Captain of Awesome. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, become a member, support me, send me money on PayPal, anything, just something to show that you really appreciate what I'm doing here. And until next time, I've been your Captain of Awesome. This is Geekception, and I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to stay awesome. Bye.